How low can XRP go? That is a very good question that today we're going to be talking about. And to kind of accompany the topic with a question, my question of today is, are you guys still bullish on the XRP price? Let me know in the comment section down below. And oh boy, do I want to talk and discuss this because wow, a lot of criticism, a lot of skeptics, a lot of positive stuff. There's really a whole lot of everything over the last couple of days. And even though this is not the only article we're going to talk about, this is definitely one of the most interesting ones. I got so many messages asking me what I think about it, even though the article itself is not that good. But what it comes down to is talking about the lawsuit here, talking about how there were some predictions as to how high the price could go, like $100 per XRP. And now that the lawsuit has been extended to January 2022, at least, not a certainty, but that's what Jeremy Hogan, for example, said. Where can we go? Is there any bottom? Now, easiest to say here is just to say there's never a bottom for the price because you're going to go as low as it gets, right? You can't really say unless you believe that there's no manipulation and all of this just moves with the normal flow of things, which would basically state we are not on the same line. My own personal thoughts, though, are it is just going to flow on with Bitcoin as long as there's no regulatory clarity, meaning what Bitcoin is going to do in terms of percentages, do it times 1.5. So if Bitcoin can go down, for example, 25%, well, XRP is going to go down, for example, 37.5 and so forth and so on. It's just not always going to work like that, but I just have it kind of as a margin. And since nobody's really expecting Bitcoin to go more than 50% down, we're always in the clear. And still, guys, mind you very much so that going 75% down for XRP is still 25 freaking cents, all right? It's still higher than a lot of the time that we spent. I mean, I don't know exactly where the price went to once they got sued back in December, but to me, it feels like a little while ago. I think it got to like 17 cents or so. I'm actually sure it did go to 17 cents, but all right. It's still crazy to sometimes think about that. And back in March of 2020, 11 freaking cents per XRP. From that perspective, no. I would say we're all going to be good because like 25 cents or so is like way worse than what could ever happen. That's like the worst case scenario for Bitcoin and the worst case scenario for XRP. If we're honestly asking me, I do not think that anywhere throughout this cycle, we're going to go below 50 cents per XRP. As you guys have most likely seen, my liquidation on my trade is at 47 cents. And that's because I wanted to have it below 50 because I don't think we're going to even get past that. But I ultimately think it's going to be building independent on Bitcoin. But still, I think there's more chance of an upside than a downside right now, like I've been shouting for the last couple of days right now. All right, moving on though, because I have a lot of articles. How low can we go? There's no real price. I personally don't think XP is going to move below 50 cents for a very long while. Then again, you can always be wrong because it's going to follow Bitcoin within margin. Court grants permission to Ripple CEO and co-founder to seek international judicial assistance. To be honest, with the lawsuit, even though the whole extension was a negative thing, I still would like to argue that it's actually not that big a deal as they and we are making it out to be. I still think it can actually be regarded as a good thing because Ripple might use this to their advantage. Then Bitcoin stock to flow. Guys, I'm going to still also say I still follow the plan. I still believe we're going to see $1 million, for example, per Bitcoin in a couple of years. And I still believe this is the usual course that it's going to be flowing through. The thing is, I remember back in 2015 or so, well, this is also an apparent thing. Back in that time, there was a lot of criticism about this, right? Because you could just be lucky. Right? It's just an easy line to kind of follow through. Then again, as time moved on here now, over the last years, over the last 6 extra years, it's still been quite accurate, even though I think he adjusted a little bit every single time. It's still about the idea, though, right? That it's just, there's a certain line which it follows, and I still firmly agree with Plan B, who I also believe is a Dutch guy too, right? I'm 99% sure on that. Moving on, British millionaire Alan Howard making massive moves into the crypto space. Guys, there's going to be so many billionaires, so many companies, so many institutional investors. Last 2 days, I spent a little bit of extra attention to covering what institutions are getting in. A little bit earlier, we explained how CBDCs and Amazon and stuff like that could even run on XRP. We've seen a ton of companies work with VeChain, for example, in the automotive industry, but also just supply chain, for example, for vaccines and that type of stuff. there's going to be so much institutional interest also from the kind of the venture capital side. We saw a lot of investments recently. I mean, Coinbase Ventures going at it. Polygon just got an investment from Mark Cuban as well. There's going to be so much. There's going to be so freaking much, man. What is the last one? I don't know. Okay. I don't remember the name exactly, but there's just a lot of venture capitalists also going to run into these crypto projects as time moves on because they know they can sometimes make freaking 100 times or stuff like that. And these projects, with crypto, it's small enough where they can actually make a significant dent in the entire industry with just a very small investment. Let me kind of rephrase that, right? Right now, Solana got a huge investment, and there's one crypto, which I forgot the name of just now, mentioned it on Patreon, but basically, a very small investment, a couple $1 million in the startup realm of normal companies can just leave you with a little bit of some, but not really anything, right? Right here, a couple $1 million, let's say a round of $100 million, puts you in the freaking top of the top crypto list in terms of investment, in terms of kind of just money, so to speak. And from that point on forward, you can grow so significantly in a very short amount of time. Look at Internet Computer. Look at how fast that one came up. Is it falling down? Yes. But look at how fast it came up. And I think a lot of institutional investors are going to see, or venture capitalists, I should say, are going to see that as time moves on. Right now, there's a ton of them already, right? But I think so much more money is going to flow in once they get the proper regulatory clarity, which says that cryptos are good to go. Because right now, a lot of the companies and foundations behind crypto are still considered kind of sketchy businesses. There needs to be some kind of clarity in that. But as right now, the last couple of weeks have been focused on crypto regulation, maybe, right? Maybe. On that same note about huge institutions, there's also, of course, this question of hedging. Bitcoin volatility kicks in as Fed sharply raises inflation expectations. The U.S. Federal Reserve has kept its easy monetary policy in place, and oh boy. The U.S. Federal Reserve announced on Wednesday that it kept its near-zero interest rates unchanged. The Fed is also holding steady on its asset purchase of $120 billion per month. It has sharply raised its inflation estimate for the fourth quarter of 2021 to 3.4%, which is a whopping 1% spike compared to the previous forecast. Nevertheless, the central bank has reiterated that inflation is transitory, 7 Fed officials see rates increasing in 2022 as opposed to 4 in March. All officials see rates untouched throughout 2021. Bitcoin's price action has become topsy-turvy since the Fed's decision. The largest crypto is currently trading at 38.7 thousand on the Bitstamp exchange. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is also down over 300 points at press time because those things are often correlated. Then everything you need to know about this Bitcoin phase coming to an end. Again, debatable. Commenting on similar lines, Pump Investment Antiano said, this week, the big theme is that the reaccumulation phase is nearing an end. So that is not good, right? That is not nice to see. But Twitter was flooded with analysts asking the crypto community to buy the dip. Implicitly, the crypto's price recorded a consistent horizontal movement, with the crypto's asset volatility substantially, falling on the charts as well. As a matter of fact, the accumulation phase is a period of downtrend, but usually precedes an uptrend. Looking back, Bitcoin's price was hovering in the $50,000 bracket during mid-May before it crashed on the charts. Most notably, post the drop, the accumulation phase has been going on in full swing. However, will the accumulation phase extend itself further, or has it already come to an end? Well, looking at the ongoing market trend, one can argue that the aforementioned phase has almost concluded, for the short term at least, and that again could mean that right now they've accumulated enough and the price is going to burst out. Until recently, market players were busy filling their bags with Bitcoin. Consequently, the rate at which short-term holders have been selling has decreased, while the rate at which long-term holders have been buying has increased. Interestingly, over the week, the buying rate has been outweighed by the selling rate. Now things are changing, and profit takers has nearly reset across all time frames, and things are looking good right now. Things are looking really, really beautiful. Michael Saylor broke down MicroStrategy's Bitcoin strategy. That's a lot of strategies. How is it a better inflation hedge than gold? And what role Ethereum plays in a recent interview? Here are the 10 best quotes. Now, I want to quickly say once more, guys, for all of you that do not know, I've said it before, I'm going to say it again. As long as Michael Saylor holds his Bitcoin, I'm still holding mine. I believe as he starts selling, that's the biggest deal of, oh no, there's something going on. He's been buying so much, raking up so ridiculously much debt. Right now, another $1.5 billion in total over the last couple of weeks here. If they really want to go this far to buy more Bitcoin, nah, I can't not do it, right? I can't. So as long as they got it, I got it, and I'm still excited about it like crazy. It is really freaking amazing to see how this pulls through. It's really, really cool. But an inflation hedge is a really difficult thing to say. You can say it's better than gold on so many different bases. We've discovered that a couple of times before. They're saying it's digital gold on a big tech network. Of course, there's that part. There's also the part that Bitcoin is going up a lot more. It has gone up significant amounts more than gold has. And there's a couple other points. Like, for example, it's a lot easier to just send it around and kind of share the wealth, so to speak. It's a lot easier to sell too. If you have the real thing with gold, is kind of difficult. But if you have a digital gold, I guess that kind of falls into place as well. But you guys get the idea, right? It's just my personal thoughts about this one where, yes, I hold Bitcoin for a good part also against this inflation, which is a real thing. Even though the inflation and Bitcoin is a difficult correlation to really measure, I think in due time people will notice it. Then top economist Steve Hanke calls El Salvador's Bitcoin adoption decision stupid. Steve Hanke, or Hank, has lambasted El Salvador for adopting Bitcoin as legal tender. The Economist believes that it was a very stupid decision influenced by dark forces, and to be honest, how can we know exactly why they did something like that? I mean, who can say? Who can really say? He's a professor of applied economics at Johns Hopkins University, and he's called it a very stupid move. According to him, El Salvador is one of the 3 officially dollarized American nations, and adopting Bitcoin as legal tender will ultimately cause its economy to collapse. He alleged that the decision was influenced by dark forces who wish to completely drain the entire US dollar in circulation. Wow, all right, that is interesting. Dark forces clearly are behind this. That is the criminal element, and the reason for that is the criminal element wants to be able to get in and actually obtain real legal tender, Hanke said. He also pointed out that it will be very difficult to use Bitcoin in day-to-day transactions as the transaction rate of Bitcoin will be too high when converting it to US dollars. And Hanke believes that a fundamental problem with crypto is that it's expensive and difficult to convert crypto assets to actual legal tenders. You can't convert Bitcoin, for example, cheaply and easily into US dollars, pound sterling, euros, and legal tenders that you can use in a store, he said. Which is not completely true. It really depends. What do you call cheap? What do you call expensive? He also said that Bitcoin is not a scam, but he does believe that this decision was a strange one. Okay. And then again, my Bybit here. There's $1,700 worth of bonuses. Go use the link down below. Go check it out. And yeah, that was it for today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you learned something new. Hopefully you're going to think about some stuff from now forward as well. Make sure you follow me over on Twitter too, at TheDustTBC. And I'll see you guys again in another crypto video later today.